I think loads of people think that care is something like way different than this.
I mean, I think there's a lot of misconceptions about children's homes. I mean, I remember from my own childhood, we used to get the bus into town with my gran and we used to go drive past a children's home, a local authority children's home, and my nan telling me stories about, well, if you're naughty, that's where the naughty children go.
I was phoned by a resident who saw we were setting up a home, and I think this story just demonstrates the hysteria that can be around that. And she said, "Mr. O'Reilly, I believe you're setting up a home in my neighbourhood." I said, "Yes." And she said, well, that's ridiculous. I mean, how can you assure me that these children are not like the Jamie Bolger murderers? And what do you say to that? And of course, I had to stay very diplomatic. And I said, "I can assure you." I said, these children just need a chance. Two of them are at college, one's in sixth form. I said, "Well, we just want to give them a chance." But she wouldn't hear. All she wanted to hear was, "Don't open a home in my area." And then the throwaway comment was, and these children could never afford to live in a house like this anyway.
When I hear any negative comments about children's homes in general, or any specific objections to a children's home opening in a local area, I'm usually very upset. It dismays me that people feel that way. And I think it's partly because they don't understand how cruel their words are. They don't understand that the people that they're mostly impacting and affecting are the children themselves.
I think people that don't know about social services have a general negative perception because they see social workers as removing children from their homes. On the other hand, they see social workers as failing children for not being able to protect them. From a media perspective, what's more of a highlight? A child being hurt and damaged as opposed to a child being safe?
And of course, it is difficult. You can't film children or interview children, the media can't. As realism, you could adults. But any story just seems to be negative, and that needs to change. So that's why I wanted to take part in this and to say, well, there's actually a massive other side where there's a lot of amazing work going on.
Growing up, I've lost count the amount of times a social worker has said to me, "If you don't do A, B and C, we're going to have to put you in a residential." I think it was, if I don't stop running away, they're going to have to put me in a residential because they can't keep me safe. So that made me feel like it was a prison. When I first went there, I was dreading it. I said, "Oh, that's it. My life's gone now. Here's my phone." But yeah, it was nothing like a prison at all. It was nothing like a prison. It was more like just like living with your best friends all the time. It really was. It was just so, we used to have so much fun at night time, especially at bedtime, running from each other's rooms. We'd get, "Kaylee, get in your room. Tanika, get in your room. Casey, get in your room. We are in our rooms. No, you're not. You're in Jay's room. No, we're not." Running around and stuff. It just needs to stop being used as a threat because it is not a bad place for children to be. It's just a bigger house, only for children that are in care.
There's so many good news stories that I could forward on to the press. I'm also worried that the press, they want the angle that's negative because we have a negativity bias and it probably gets the clicks.
I think generally how the public perceive children's homes is with some bewilderment. I think they're quite puzzled by them, and I think they're quite fearful very often. And so consequently, there's often, I suppose, the feeling of not, in that we know that the children need to go somewhere, but not near us, thank you very much.
I lived in 6 different children's homes over the space of 4 years, so I had a huge variety of different children's homes. The level of just disconnect from some of the residents that were living around and the needs of those children was apparent to be seen, and obviously as a young person living in the setting you would feel the animosity from the neighbours when you're going to put out your bin.
Yeah, I think fear is probably the main thing that drives that, fear of the unknown. The children who get placed somewhere like here, somewhere like the Mulberry Bush, is that they have surrounded themselves with fear. They are often very fearful themselves. They're often full of anxiety, and they create anxiety around them through the behaviours that they display. And part of our job is to get alongside those children, and we quickly realise they are just children. You know, they're just young children trying to find their way in the world and trying to understand the confusing and complex things that have happened to them.
When I first came here, I was very different. I was more angry, more nervous, didn't want to do anything. Your brain could be squashed up and probably come from a bad life. Because I used to come back from a bad family, and I used to get beaten to a pulp and get shouted at. You know, my head was all scrambled since I was the age of 6, and when I came here, after all that stress, and the people here just stood by your side, supported you whenever you needed them, whenever you needed a chat, and it's changed my life since I came here.